This is Kurt's Unit 12.5. So, firstly, can you explain to me about the barriers of sports participation, starting with time?
Time is often a massive barrier in terms of participation within sport. This is due to the amount of spare time people have to be able to participate in sport. For example, a child who goes to school would have more spare time than a person working a full-time job. Therefore, you'd expect more children to be participating within sport than adults.
Okay. Moving on to resources.
Resources is really how easily accessible sporting activities are. This also plays a massive part on participation within sport, as without the right resources you will not be able to take part in the specific sport. For example, as there is a lack of snow and mountains in the UK, the participation of people doing the sport skiing is very low, whereas in a place like Russia where there's lots of snow and mountains, there'd be more participations.
Okay. Moving on to fitness, what sort of everyday nowadays you see new on the news? There's people are getting obese and there's higher percentages of obese people. What do you think? How do you think that affects exercise in the UK especially?
Well, when you're obese, you don't really want to. You want to stick to your. Most of them want to stick to their lifestyle. Therefore, if they go and play football or a high. What's the word?
Intensity.
Yeah, a high intensity sport, then they're going to be out of their comfort zone. So if they do it once and they don't enjoy it, they're not going to want to do it again unless they've got that drive and they want to actually lose weight. Therefore, this will be the lack of participation is due to the lack of fitness. So if you're unfit, then you're not really going to want to participate in sports.
Okay.
Because you feel uncomfortable.
Okay, moving on to ability, do you think people maybe not thinking that they're good at the sport, do you think that affects them?
Yeah, that kind of links in with the obese people as well, because not saying that all obese people are not very good at football or any sports, but it makes it harder for them in high intensity sports. It can be a big barrier because they won't believe in what they're doing, or they won't see anything at the end of it if they're not doing too well. Because if they have a bad experience once with the sport, they're very unlikely to want to go back to it, and they won't have any belief in their ability, like I just said.
Okay. Moving on to different lifestyles nowadays, do you think that affects participation in sport?
Yeah, I believe it does. Your lifestyle is a huge barrier, as people will feel that it isn't socially acceptable for them to participate in certain sports for multiple reasons. One issue could be an age, for example. Often sports is specified for certain ages, therefore the number of participants of elderly persons in sports such as football or rugby will be very low, as there are GG, we'll just start again.